In this portion of the exercise, we want to have the words fold in and fold out using a special effect for these lyrics. So let's get started. The next part of this exercise is going to start at roughly 25 seconds and last until 29 seconds. So let's adjust our work area accordingly. Now for this one, it's going to go relatively quickly. All we need to do is use our type tool to type out the phrase, "You would see the biggest gift would be from me." And we'll center that inside of our composition. So 3 little lines, nice and big, right there in the center. Now the transition that we're going to add is going to be one of these special effects. These effects tend to be very memory intensive and sometimes can take several seconds or even minutes to render. To make this easier on your computer and to go faster, we're going to go ahead and select our layer and then right-click on it and choose Pre-Compose. You can keep it the default name and we'll say OK to this. And let's go ahead and trim the time down to start at just before 25 seconds, so right about here, and then end just after the final time of 29 seconds, right here. This way it won't have to render the entire time. With the layer selected, the effect that we're going to use is under Effects, Distort, and choose CC Page Turn. Now this will add an effect to your Layers panel, but I like to use the effects controls that pop up on the far left-hand side of your screen. The effect that we want to play around with for its controls is the fold position. You can see with this number, when you click and drag to the left, it's going to start to peel up and looks like it's folding onto the page. You'll also notice that as you move this number, you get a little control that's also on your screen. So sometimes it's easier to click on this control to see how it will control the number as well. Let's set our playhead to be right at 25 seconds. And then going over to our effects controls, we'll give it a start fold time right here. This will add a keyframe at its starting point. If you want, you can also go down to your layer and hit the U key to see where this keyframe is starting at on your timeline. We're going to set the starting time for this one to have it fold completely off the page. So we're going to move this until everything is off. And again, if you need to, you may also need to scrub the number until everything is completely gone. There it is. Then we can move forward by about a second, so move to the 26-second keyframe. And then we can scrub until the numbers fully display all of our text. Set to there. Now when we go back, you can see how it's got 2 keyframes. And if we tested it, this will scroll on or page turn on all of our keyframes. From here, you can also select those and you can play around with some easing in and out of that effect. And that's looking good with that. Now we can also use this effect to transition to the next part. In this case, I want it to peel up from the bottom left corner and go outward. I can't change up the existing controls of the effect for this one because it's coming in from the bottom right. So what I need to do is to select this layer. We're going to set our playhead right at 28 seconds. So right as it starts to end this phrase, we're going to go up to go up to Edit, and we're going to split the layer. This will duplicate our layer and have it start right where the other one ends. Now from here, I can start to edit these controls. If we press the U key, you can change the fold position. And in our case, we're going to change the controls from being the bottom right to the bottom left corner. We're going to clear away our keyframes, and let's set our fold position. So this will give us a new keyframe, and we're going to let it start with the fold all the way down right here. So this will set the starting position. And then at 28 and we'll say 12 frames, so half of a second, We're going to scrub it until it completely picks up and moves off the screen. There it is set to here. Now when it plays through, and it folds off this way. The next thing I want to do is to use this same effect to have the words for the next part transition in as this one is going out. So as this is being peeled up, we want the other to be peeled down. To do this, I'm going to go down to my layers panel, and let's go ahead and collapse this. And I'm going to lock these two down so I don't accidentally type on those layers. This next part's going to be starting at 28 seconds. So let's place move our work area down just a bit so I can see it. So it needs to say, and the card attached would say. Placing again my playhead starting at 28 seconds. I'm going to grab my type tool and type, and the card attached would say. I'm going to do a little ... Let's center that up, and I know for now it's actually covering up my text. Again, we want to pre-compose this layer, so with it selected, choose pre-compose. We'll say OK to the name of it, and we want it to start at 28 seconds. So let's bring our start time all the way till it matches right here, and we want it to end roughly at 31 seconds, so we'll set it to be there. With this layer selected, let's go back up to Effect, and then we can go down to our Distort and CC Page Turn. Looking at our controls, we want the position to be at the bottom right, and we want to start it way off to the sides. Let's move our scrub off to this edge. Again, scrubbing the number until it's completely gone. There it is set to there. From here, once it's all the way off, we can click our stopwatch. We can hit the U key so we can actually see our keyframes on our timeline. And as this is transitioning off, we want the other to transition on. So once it's gone, maybe just before, we'll have this set to be here, and now let's have this completely transition on to be down. Right there. Now as we play them, you can see how they both transition on and off at the same time. There's that. Looks like I need to extend my time a little bit more. From here, we'll go up to File and let's save it, and let's finish out the rest of this exercise.